Assalamu alaikum. Real Madrid won, Girona won. The almighty Girona, where we thought that we were going to now stack up the points all the way until May, where we have to go up against Barcelona. That's what the Real Madrid fans were kind of showing me based off the post, based off Instagram comments, based off all those interactions that I've been seeing and I've been dealing with. Apparently, according to Real Madrid fans, right? Not all of them, because there are some Real Madrid fans out there who are being realistic. But according to some of those Real Madrid fans that just stick onto the past, that just cling on to the past glory, right? And then we have to deal with results like this. We have to see results like this. And just a reminder that we have Mbappe, Vini, Bellingham, Valverde, Brahim Diaz. I'm going to throw in Brahim Diaz in there. I'm going to throw in Asensio. I'm going to throw in every single Real Madrid player that was starting today against Girona, where now if we look at the table, they were 12th place. They were 12th place, and we're second, where we're supposed to be, battling out with Barcelona about the title, where we fumbled last week and ultimately fumbled this week. And according to some of the Real Madrid fans, things like this happen. I should give Real Madrid a break. I shouldn't be too harsh. I should not critique them. If I say any type of criticism, I'm a fake fan. I'm an undercover Barcelona fan. Now, is what I'm saying at the very least coming back? Like, is it revealing some truth? Is it reviving anything in you? Because the fact is, if you see this result, if you see today's performance, and you're here going to tell me that there was no problem, we had this person not playing, this is not our regular starting lineup, we were resting them against Bayern. If you want to come up with all those excuses and say that, we were going to struggle, like that's the thing. Here's the thing. It's against Girona. We drew against Girona. Where we were supposed to now, starting from now all the way until the end of the season, we're supposed to gather points. I don't care that we're going to go up against Bayern in the weekend. In midweek next week. I don't care that we're going up against Bayern. I don't care. Because if Arbeloa actually cared, right, in terms of resting players, he was going to 100% rest Vini, Mbappe, Valverde, even though Valverde didn't play last time. He was going to rest at the very least Vini and Mbappe, but he's not going to rest him. You know why? You know why he doesn't rest him? And this is, by the way, whatever I'm saying right now is all what I believe. So I could be wrong. You don't have to take my word for it. But this is what I truly believe. And I believe that the players have more power than the managers. And I am always going to say this. Ever since I saw that Xabi Alonso got kicked out of Real Madrid, or I guess he had enough and left, that's been what I've been thinking about the entire time. And nothing has proven me wrong. Nothing. Besides one thing. And besides only one man that I could praise. The only person that I could praise ever since Xabi Alonso left Real Madrid. And everybody guessed it. That person is Valverde. Valverde is the only player that I could see that plays for the badge, that plays like he's hungry for more, even after all the success he's had. He's the only one that plays for the team. He's the only one that could play by himself. He could create magic on his own. He could create magic for his teammates. And he could do this on a consistent basis. Because here's the thing. When Xabi Alonso was manager and was, had control over the team, I'm not going to lie. Valverde wasn't in his best form. He wasn't in his best form. And I'm not going to say that Xabi Alonso did 100% everything right. But at some point, I know Xabi Alonso was going to realize not playing Valverde the way Valverde wants to play is an issue. But guess what? Towards the end of Xabi Alonso's stint, guess who got to play the way they wanted and how many minutes they wanted? Vinícius and Mbappe. I'm going to throw in there Jude Bellingham, but I'm not going to put Jude Bellingham. But my main issue with Vini and Mbappe, right? And you guys can come at me all you want. I'm just going to say whatever I'm thinking about, because this was the end for me. I know La Liga's gone, and I don't even know what's going to happen in the Champions League. But going back to the Xabi Alonso incident, ever since towards the end of Xabi Alonso's stint at Real Madrid, you guys can see where Vinicius was getting benched here and there by Xabi Alonso. You could see that it stopped. And that's where I found it being an issue. Because when Xabi Alonso benched Vinicius Jr., when he took him off of Barcelona's game, right? Whether I support it, whether I don't, the manager knows what's best. Now I can't say the same for Arbeloa. I don't think he knows the best. But that's when I noticed that the club prioritizes players over the manager himself. Perez is a money grabber. That's what I think. Perez just cares about names. Vinicius brings in names. Mbappe brings in, money. Vinicius brings in money. All those players, Jude Bellingham, they bring in money just because of their names. And that's what keeps the money. That's what keeps everything running. It's the money. But the passion, I don't see it anymore. I don't see the passion anymore. I'm hearing that Vinicius Jr. is going to get a higher salary for his contract renewal. Are you serious? The past 2 seasons, including this one, what has Vinicius showed us? Last season and this season. What has he given us? As a team, obviously. When I say us, I'm talking about Real Madrid. What has he given Real Madrid as a club? Besides maybe more fans because of his name. Mbappe as well. Why is he not getting benched? Ever since he got back, we've been losing or we've been struggling. Ever since he came back, 3 games. Draw, loss, draw. 3 games in a row with Mbappe. And it's not the fact that I'm not trying to say, oh, this is a theory, this is a pattern that I'm seeing. It's not that. When you look at the team, right? When you see Mbappe being over here, Mbappe being over here, and then at some point in the game, you would see Valverde pressing where Mbappe is supposed to be at. Valverde, who supports the right back position, who supports Carvajal, who supports Trent. That's Valverde's position. That's where he's supposed to be at. But then we end up seeing him pressing. Now, I'm not saying attacking. He's pressing defensively, where he's pressing the opposing side, especially this game, pressing the goalie, pressing the defenders. And Mbappe and Vinicius are just walking by, right there from the wings, not doing anything. And you're telling me they make more money than Valverde. That's where it's an issue. That's where I see the team being weak. Because whoever joins Real Madrid, especially under Arbeloa, where it's not a manager who has a voice, a manager who has an image to himself, like Xabi Alonso, the way he had an image coming from Leverkusen, the way Xabi Alonso is considered one of the legends of Real Madrid, where the players were just not listening to him anymore. The players were not taking his advice. The players going to Perez and complaining. Perez taking the players' words and telling Xabi Alonso what to do and what not to do. I've never seen that ever. I've never seen that ever in a club. Ever in my life. Now, I didn't live a really long time, but I wasn't watching football for a consistent amount of time. But I can say for a fact that I've never heard of anything like this, where the president doesn't rely on the manager. The president doesn't. Here's the thing. The record for Xabi Alonso is still far more better than when Arbeloa joined. Xabi Alonso in under 25 games, or I believe 28 games, whatever it was, only lost 5 matches. Now, with Arbeloa, it's, I believe, 7 matches. And now, I don't even want to count the draws. I don't want to count the draws. But our record under Xabi Alonso was far better. And if you look at the losses that we had under Xabi Alonso in the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, those are the teams that Real Madrid are expected to struggle with or expected to even to win against. Those are teams that are normal to lose against. But then when we have the almighty Mallorca, when we have the almighty Girona, when we're dropping points to those clubs like those, it's embarrassing. And by the way, we're at the Bernabeu, one of the best and greatest stadiums in the world. And we played, right? They played, the players, I'm going to say they now, the players, they played like they were playing away, which this is what I like. I want the fans to boo. I want them to whistle. Because if the players are not going to see what the content creators are saying, see what the real fans who want the better Real Madrid, if they're not seeing what those guys are saying, then 100% they're going to hear their own fans in their own stadiums where they're playing at. Booing, whistling whenever we take a corner. Whistling whenever Lunin is about to get a kick. That is what the fans are supposed to do from now all the way till the end of the season. All the way until the end of the season. Because the performance that we've been dropping, bro, it's nothing acceptable. Because according to what the Real Madrid fans who I interact with, according to what y'all say, and according to Real Madrid in general, the standards are high, right? That's why Xabi Alonso got kicked. But then where's the standard here? Why isn't Arbeloa kicked out yet? Why isn't those players that are underperforming, why aren't they benched? It's very clear where the mentality is. It's very clear that everybody has given up on the season. Very, very, very clear. When we had the opportunity to win La Liga, the opportunity to win Copa del Rey, the opportunity to beat Barcelona, and I'm talking about Barcelona in May, because I'm 100% convinced we're not beating Barcelona unless some magic happens. They beat us in the Supercopa. We only beat them, and that was under Xabi Alonso. Now, we have to see how we play against them under Arbeloa. A man that has zero tactics, only has a say on which players comes in, which player come off, and that's not the say in every single player, because he doesn't have control over Vini and Mbappe, and he's not going to ever have control over them. And I don't know if any other manager is going to have control over them. The team has to wake up. At some point, they have to point fingers at the players, because the manager, like, he's just there. He knows the fingers are going to get pointed at him. He's there in every single press conference saying, it's me, it's my fault, it's me. So he's already looking like the one to blame. But that's just a decoy. And I'm not even trying to talk about Arbeloa because I'm past him. It's now the players. If the players want to take responsibility, if Vinny wants more minutes, Mbappe wants more minutes, Jude Bellingham, they have to play like they deserve the more minutes. Look at Valverde as an example. If you have to take any player, look how he's been performing ever since Xabi Alonso left. That's how every single Real Madrid player is supposed to play like. But the only difference between last season and under Xabi Alonso and under Arbeloa, the only key difference is like the fact that there's no difference. There's absolutely no difference. Besides Xabi Alonso. When we had Xabi Alonso, I promise you, and you guys can say whatever you want, but I'm sticking with my gut. We should have never gotten rid of Xabi Alonso. I was never supporting the fact that we had to get rid of Xabi Alonso. Go back in my videos. Go back in my clips. Now, yes, there was moments where I was questioning Xabi Alonso, but that was only because of the fact that's when my suspicion was raised, where Vinny was getting more minutes. Out of nowhere, he was benching him. He was giving him less minutes, and out of nowhere, Vinny started playing more. Out of nowhere, Mbappe started playing more. And that's where the shift, I think that's where everything flipped on Xabi Alonso. Because he couldn't touch them anymore. And that Barcelona game was his final straw. So I know I went on a rant. I know I was supposed to talk about this game. But literally this game just paints the story of every single Real Madrid game. The goal that we conceded, for example, nobody was pressing him. Nobody was pressing throughout the game. Barely any pressing. We had the momentum. We had a lot of the momentum. And out of all the momentum, we only got one goal. Out of 22 shots, we only got one goal. And they took 10 shots. 0 big chances, but they still scored. How is that possible? Our expected goal, 2.22. I'm going to round it up. I don't care. 2.5, let's say. 2.5. That's our expected goals. And we only got one. And that was through what? A mistake from the goalie and a brilliant play, brilliant shot by Valverde. That's the story of Real Madrid the past 2 seasons. That is the story. That's what we've been saved. That's how we've been saved. Now you're trying to tell me that there's a chance we win the UCL. There's a chance that Barcelona messes up and we win La Liga. I've said it since the very beginning in terms of La Liga. It will be very hard for Barcelona to drop points. We rarely see them drop points. And if they do drop points, great. They're still going to win the league. Because if they drop points, 100% we're also dropping points as well. Because the past 2 seasons, we've never taken advantage of whenever Barcelona drops points and whenever we gain points. We've never, ever taken advantage of that. And now Barcelona has a chance to go up, more up, to get the full 3 points if they do win. And in my opinion, La Liga is done. La Liga is going to be done. And that trophy we could say bye-bye to. And the only chance we have is the UCL. If we beat Bayern and get past at their home stadium, and then we possibly are going to meet PSG, where we're also going to play away. Home at this point doesn't even make a difference anymore for Real Madrid. And then if we even get past PSG, we have Arsenal or Barcelona waiting for us. And to be honest, I'm the type that I like to have hope, and I don't like to give a false hope for myself as well. But I don't want to face Barcelona, especially in the UCL final. especially in the UCL final. With a team like this right here, this team that just lost to Girona, and I'm talking about even the bench players, we are going to get embarrassed. Now, I don't care about this whole UCL magic. I don't care about that anymore. Because, in my opinion, this whole UCL magic thing doesn't apply to this Real Madrid squad. It doesn't. And if you guys want to hear more of what I said, go back to my last video or even the video that I reviewed with the journalists I had against Bayern. But overall, let me know what you guys think about this game. Let me know if you guys were even shocked. Like I said, I was not shocked. My whole expectation for Real Madrid is very, very, very low. I'm not shocked at all. I'm expecting this, and I'm expecting more to come even by the end of this season. This season has to end, in my eyes. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you very much for those who follow, like, comment on all social platforms at Riyal Roots. If you guys are not followed, make sure you do. And make sure that you do subscribe for it on YouTube because we're trying to hit 400 subscribers and we're well on our way there. Thank you very much. And until then, salam alaikum.